Are you a starseed? Do you know what a starseed is? Do you know what your mission is for 2026? Do you know what the symptoms are? Do you know where they come from? Did you see my last video that Edgar Cayce described what the Arcturian system is about and the origins of human beings? Let's talk about what starseeds are, what's going to happen in 2026. We're going to talk about the true power of humans and why we're here in this 3D form. What's it all about and what's going to happen this year to turn it all around? It's still a choice. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. I just shot 15 minutes of video and realized I did not put Zoom on start. So now we're going to start all over again, but I'm not going to forget what I was going to say. And let's start out with the fact that you are absolutely perfect. You always have been. Everything else is an illusion. All of it is energy expressing itself in different forms that is constantly transforming into other forms. And the more you go into a higher frequency, the more control you have over those forms. We're going to talk about that today. What's a starseed? If you watch my last video, I discussed some things that I had never heard Edgar Cayce say about the Arcturian star system, that there are no other human beings in the universe, that we're the only 3D ones. Thank goodness we're the lowest form. This is why we cannot understand the light forms that most of us don't see. We don't understand them because we only know this, that is changing. So many of you are stepping into that, seeing other realms and understanding there's nothing to fear. Now, I want you to remember, everything is illusion. We are co-creators, and that means those with lower frequencies will want to control and manipulate those stories, those illusions, to place fear in you. You'll live in separation, you're going to point fingers, you're going to be in hate and anger and all these other things that keep us in 3D, which is where we've been for centuries. So we're going to talk about the Starseed mission for 2026. I'm Landria, Onkka. Of course, welcome to my channel because we're going to break through the fears because it's a lower frequency. Lower frequencies keep you in separation, and fear is saying that I don't believe that I am a perfect co-creator, eternal, and that there's nothing to fear because I'm actually creating that future. Now, we're not going to talk about the gloom and doom predictions anymore. This is what's happening in 2026. We're going to talk about the capabilities you have, and that what's really happening is those were warnings of a time and place that they saw in the collective that no longer exists. We have raised the frequency of this planet. You're not going to see most of those things happening. And I want to reassure all of you, there will not be a World War III. Why? Because we have nuclear weapons and our neighbors won't allow it, because when we go to that space, our selfish space of self-protection and fear, we affect everything out there, and they won't allow that to happen. That's the only time that they will step in and interfere with our free will, because it's at the lowest form that's destructive to the entire universe. Why? Because we don't understand how it works. And we're going to talk today about how it works. So someone asked, do you get your power from your hat? Answer is no, I get it from my hair, this crazy Muppet cool hair. All right. So we've been looking at the shaking events coming in 2026. Now I'm going to start introducing some actual predictions on a high frequency that are out there of people walking around. You may know some of them, and we're going to talk about what's going to happen. These people have actually been talking about specific dates that we can actually ask questions. And I saw a podcast. I'm going to start introducing those. I'm starting with Edgar Cayce because we know that here's somebody who was saying some things that are now becoming relevant, and we're seeing them differently. Now, he didn't talk a lot about the origins of humans or aliens and all these other things because we misinterpreted it and we labeled it as ETs coming down. There was no craft that he ever spoke of. He spoke about light being forms. This is what we're seeing more of, including those drones that are showing up. Why did they show up? Everything is surrounding and a message to us that if we go into destruction, we aren't in charge over that. You can relax. Now, what I do want to tell you, and this is the most important thing about this video, is we have to get into the position where we earn our place among our neighbors where we can be those light beings that transform into anything we desire. We hear about them walking through walls or showing up as orbs or actual light beings. That is their transformation abilities that we have right now, but we don't believe it. So by watching this video, I'm hoping that you will step aside, put all those stories and anything that limits you that's fear-based. It's part of the agenda. It's the manipulation. Because there's only one thing that truly exists, and that is love. Everything else is delusion around it. And if you've been in that space before, you know that all of this is just an exploration and an adventure, and it's free will choice. And we can take this planet up to the next level. Starseeds are part of that plan. And I want you to understand, because everything's one thing, we are one with the planet. That means she is reacting to us. We are not victims on this planet that have to go through volcanoes and earthquakes and things like that. We created that, all right? She's in distress. If you don't take care of your body, right, you have high blood pressure, got all kinds of stuff going on. That's no different. And so we are inhabitants on this beautiful, amazing, perfect planet, and we can end and stop, or at least curtail, a lot of the destructive things that we already put into motion. Some of those things will show up, but it will not be on the level that Cayce spoke of, that Baba Vanga spoke of, because we are choosing free will. And they said those things purposely to scare the bejeebers out of us, right? And so it's like, whoa, we don't like that. Once we recognize what we are, we're saying we actually change it. That's what we're going to talk about today. So I hope that you will subscribe, give me a like. Those likes are very important to me. It helps promote my channel to people who want these messages, because there's so much negativity out there. Your ability to change your life, no matter what situation you're in right now, it can be done over and over. You've been told this. We're going to start demonstrating that. I have videos coming out that February is going to be a month of miracles, according to Cayce, and we're going to see something pretty huge happen right around April of 2026. Guess what? That's right around the corner. So now everything we discuss here is your power, who and what you are. What's the purpose? We're going to start to remove the veils, and we're going to be okay with the changes that happen that seem negative, but they're only the destruction of the foundations of negativity, fear, and control. That is the ego-based 3D. We're stepping out of 3D. We're going to join our neighbors who are light beings, who are always there to help us. We have to earn it. So there's no disclosure that's going to happen. There's no Hall of Records that will be released. Nothing's going to happen because we are not responsible citizens. And even if Washington released disclosure about our neighbors, we would freak out, right? Because the majority of people are still in disbelief, limitations, and fear. They believe the garbage. None of this is going to be disclosed, and nor do I think it should be until we get our act together. And when we do and we go up to here, we realize there's nothing to fear and that anything out there is equal to us and that we are equal to it. But you don't probably think that right now, do you? We're going to work on that. So we've explored the cosmic origins of where we came from. The Arcturians, if you didn't see that video, go watch it. What did Edgar Cayce say about the Arcturians? The ultimate source of everything doesn't have a name. It's one thing. It doesn't call itself name because names separate us. But we're going to go by names in this video today, just because we're still in the illusion. And we'll talk about your role in it, because pretty cool one. I think you're going to like this. So what's the primary function of the Arcturus star system? So according to Cayce, the readings of Edgar Cayce, the primary function of the Arcturus star system is to serve as a developing center or gateway for souls. So we have spaces and places that we go to for specific reasons. It's all part of the illusion also, but it's on a higher level, a higher understanding, and your capabilities are expansive there. It acts as a transitional point through which souls pass when they're either leaving our solar system to enter other regions of the universe or entering our system from elsewhere. Now remember, when I say souls, we're still acting as individuals on some level. We're still in the illusion. The ultimate place that we came from and will return to has no individual anything. It is one perfect unit. So in the broader spiritual framework described in the sources, Arcturus is viewed as the exit gate in a soul map. Now, a lot of people have said, if we're in a prison planet, our souls are trapped. Don't go to the light. That is propaganda and manipulation. Of course, you go to the light. Where are you going to go if you don't go to the light? Be careful what you're listening to. That's manipulation, the tricks and all that stuff. Let it go. We know how this feels. You know if somebody tells you something, if it's fear-based or not. And we have to start thinking for ourselves because you hold the power of the universe. So our soul map, part of the illusion beyond the human 3D, the lowest level in the universe, it connects our local energy universities, the planets in our solar system to the rest of the cosmos. Because of its significance as a cosmic crossroad, it is a high volume concept for starseeds, right? So it's like an incubator who use Cayce's mention of the system to understand their own extraterrestrial origins. I'm not talking about grays. I'm talking about extraterrestrial is the expanse of space outside of the 3D world that comes in all kinds of forms, light beams that can transition into all things. Orbs can look like they have faces in them. They can transition into other forms, other colors. It's not, we're never just one thing. You aren't either. You're never ending. So to better understand this, imagine our solar system as a specialized university campus where souls come to learn specific lessons. We're in school. Everything is a choice. Arcturus functions like the main international airport terminal attached to that entire campus. One must pass through to travel between the specific school and the rest of the vast universal world beyond, which is endless, by the way. Why are there no physical aliens? How does Dolores Cannon describe the soul's form after death? And what characterizes the emerging fifth root race, the fifth dimension, mentioned by Cayce? We're going to cover that, but that leaves the most important question of all, the one that keeps so many of you awake at night or feeling anxious. Why you? Why here? Why now? What is it all? What does it mean? All the times to be alive on Earth. Why did you choose to incarnate right before the biggest shift in human history? And we're right in it. This is not a future event. It's happening right now. Is it a punishment? Is it random chance? Is it a specific assignment that you signed up for before you were ever born? Edgar Cayce called it the emergence of the fifth root race. It's a new kind of human with upgraded DNA. Now, Dolores Cannon called it the three waves of volunteers. She spoke of the upgrade of DNA, souls dropping in to save the planet from catastrophe. And we're going to look at the 5 specific signs that confirm if you are a part of this 2026 mission. So to understand your mission, we first have to understand the battlefield. Both Edgar Cayce and Dolores Cannon agreed that the Earth is not just changing politically or geographically, it's changing vibrationally. Everything's about that. Even Tesla, if you look at those who are the wisest prophets, scientists through the centuries, they all say the same thing. But we haven't believed that's what we are, that we can manipulate that. You are now. And if you focus on that, your world is going to rock. Dolores Cannon, she was specific about this in her book, The Three Waves of Volunteers and the New Earth. That'll pop up here. That the energy of the earth is changing. She saw it happening. 2010 and 2012 is when it really started to take off, and it's accelerating at breakneck speed. She taught we're moving into the new dimension, the new earth, but there was a problem. Humanity was stuck in a cycle of karma and negativity that was so dense we couldn't make the shift. We were too heavy. And the other forms that Cayce talked about in my last video, they are not 3D. If you've ever heard about extraterrestrials, how they float or glide or go through walls, they are part of the whole system that is the 5D root race. Now, I'm not saying they're all perfect. They all have their own agendas, but they're on a much higher level than we are, much more advanced. So we're here to evolve heart first. I want you to focus on that. And if every day there's one thing you do, just sit silently before you wake up, show gratitude, and just say, please guide me, and go with that heart. And you may feel a beautiful, warm light feeling right here. Focus on that. No matter what's going on out there, shut this down and go into your heart. Evolve heart first. That's what Dolores Cannon said. Now let's look at Edgar Cayce. Decades before Dolores, he predicted that we would enter a new astrological age, the age of Aquarius, and this would trigger a biological change in humans. He didn't call them volunteers. He called them the development of the new root race. This is where we are now. So a lot of people say, well, there were no years mentioned. We don't go by years. We're going by events. The polls are shifting. And by the way, they are speeding up. Did you know the poles have shifted before? And we're still here. So in Cayce's cosmology, humanity has evolved through root races, periods of development tied to different levels of consciousness. We've been in the fourth root race associated with the development of the intellect and the mind, but Cayce predicted that a fifth root race would begin to appear at the turn of the century, specifically the 21st century. We're seeing that, and that's happening right now. And of course, we can't tie anything down to dates because you and I, our decisions can change anything, including timelines. So we have a convergence. Cayce sees a biological evolution. Dolores sees a spiritual rescue mission. The volunteers. So Dolores Cannon's work in quantum healing hypnosis uncovered a fascinating phenomenon. She began encountering clients who had no karma on Earth. See, these are things I have never heard before, right? They hadn't been here before. They didn't understand violence. They just wanted to go home. Have you heard this a lot? You hear about, I just want to go home. She used to say that a lot. They could not relate or associate to this low frequency hate, separation, violence. She asked her subjects why they were here, and the answer she received is the foundation of this video today. She wrote, so the purpose of the three waves is twofold. One, to change the energy of the earth so it can avoid catastrophe. See, we can change catastrophe. And two, to help raise the energy of the people so they can ascend with the earth into the next dimension. Because remember, it just doesn't end here. Whatever you do, you carry with you when you leave this body permanently. I'd like to go to the sun. Wouldn't that be cool? So are you feeling that? The purpose isn't just to survive 2026. It's to change the energy. And you have to be a part of this. And you are, no matter what you're doing. So if you're going to negativity and separation, arguing, or picking on people, whatever you guys are doing out there, you're creating your own karma and you're going to live in that world. So it will be the basement. You can go to the penthouse. It is an individual choice. So she described three distinct waves. I think we've gone past that, by the way. And I want you to see where you fit in. The first wave, they're the pioneers. They're older now, born roughly from the 1940s to 1960s. Baby boomers. Dolores said the first wave had the hardest time. She wrote, I asked them one time why the first wave had the most difficulty. And they said that someone had to be the pioneers, the trailblazers, the ones to show the way. They carved the path that would make it easier for the others who followed them. Why? Why didn't they do this earlier? We weren't ready for that. We stopped burning people at the stake if we're saying certain things or using herbs. And now we're at a point where we're questioning, I think this is real. So if you're in this age group and you felt beaten down by life or like you just don't belong here, this is why. By the way, you can be in that age group and not be a volunteer. Dolores noted that many of you stay home secluded to avoid mixing with others. You're holding the frequency, but it's been a lonely road. So you don't have to go out there, but you got to hold that frequency. Let's talk about the second wave, born roughly in the 70s and 80s. These are the antennas. Their job is to just be. They don't have to do anything. They just have to exist and generate energy. They often don't want children, and they are distinct observers. All right? So a lot of you who chose not to have children, you don't want to get that. That's karmic attachment, by the way. So a lot of the volunteers didn't have children. The third wave, the new children born from the 90s onward. They're coming in with the knowledge already intact. Their DNA is different. Now, somebody asked me about this. They said, are they coming in, okay, on a higher level? And the answer is yes. Because as long as we keep raising the planet, the frequency, they will be affected by it. We were corrupted and gone into low frequency because we were told how things are and we were manipulated and controlled. But here's the catch, and this is crucial for 2026. Most volunteers have amnesia. That's the game. Can't come to Earth without that, right? You have to lose it on some level so that you can play the game and demonstrate to others just like Christ did. He had to go through some trials and tribulations to demonstrate that they can be overcome. Otherwise, if everything was all hunky-dory, there wouldn't be a big demonstration. Dolores said, they are here for a definite purpose, and it is one that the human that has had their memories erased by rebirth into the physical body would not comprehend. Some of you do have a clearer knowing than others. You may have strong memories of past lives. I know I do. I wasn't on this planet either. So she explicitly warned, it is time to awaken. You have a mission. It is time to begin. Stop wasting time. Time is growing short for you to accomplish what you came to Earth to do. Time is growing short. That sounds like an urgency we feel for 2026, doesn't it? These 12 months are just going to fly by. So let's go to Edgar Cayce. Cayce readings describe human history not as linear time, but as the evolution of consciousness. He described how souls first interacted with the material world. He said souls descended on these apes, hovering above and about them, rather than inhabiting them. We are not from apes. In reading 5748-6, Cayce explicitly mentions this transition after a period of their regeneration in the mount or the fifth root race begins. What characterizes this new race, and what does that mean? It's not about skin color or geography. It's about glandular and spiritual evolution. Glandular, that sounds weird. Cayce taught that the new human would have a more active pineal and pituitary gland system. This would allow for telepathy. You guys starting to get this? I know I am. I had a dream where an instructor that I haven't seen in several years showed up and she was pregnant. I was said to her, wow, you look great. And I went into Instagram and sure enough, she's having another baby. What is that? We're becoming more and more connected. As the veils lift, instant manifestation, that's what you're going to see. Watch those thoughts. And so Bob Proctor said, if you don't want it, why would you think it? A thought manifests on some level. So you got to pull out of the negativity and the beliefs of negative, fearful things that just don't ever have to come true. A thinning of the veil between the physical and spiritual. So telepathy, instant manifestation, a thinning of the veil between the physical and spiritual. You can feel like a different person. I know I did. This last month, I know that things changed so radically for me. I felt something totally shift. And you may have too. I'd love to hear that in the comments. Cayce associated this with the Christ consciousness. He stated when the soul first incarnated into flesh, this began the first incarnation of the divine consciousness. Cayce referred to this divine consciousness as the Christ consciousness. That's like the ultimate consciousness, right? The all-giving, loving, all miraculous form of a human. That's Christ consciousness. The fifth root rate is designed to hold this consciousness fully. So you don't automatically just go into the fifth root race. It's like I said, my father's many mansions. Ours on planet Earth, you got the basement, you got the penthouse, and a bunch of floors in between. Only you get to choose where you reside. And so we want to go to the top floor. That's the Christ consciousness. And once you go there, your world will change and you're going to realize how much power we have over everything that happens every single day. You are upgrading the hardware of humanity just by being in a body right now. It's tough to be in a 3D world. I know we got aches and pains, we get older, it's not nice. But trust me, that's not who you are. And this is why when people have NDEs and they see people on the other side, have you ever noticed they look really young? I saw my grandma not too long ago. I said, Grandma, you keep getting younger. And her personality was the same. She was a little, oh, she had a little laugh. And I thought, wow, we take those personalities with us. We take those frequencies with us. So you better do a great job here because you want to go over there and experience something amazing and be really proud of what we did here on planet Earth. You are literally mutating the DNA of the collective, and that is true. There's proof that our DNA is changing. The old Earth, fear, destruction, karma. We can correct that karma right now. And the new Earth, love, creation, instant manifestation. She said, people can't help other people if they have too many of their own problems. They can't do what's right for the planet if they can't do what's right for themselves. The diversity of humans is what's so beautiful, but we separate ourselves from that. We think what we think is right, and if you dress differently or act differently or believe something differently, well, that causes separation. It keeps you in the basement, and they can go up to the penthouse no matter what you think about them. 2026 is a testing ground. We are moving fast. And in this moment where the volunteers, you must choose which earth to anchor in. There may be some depression with that because you realize this is such a messed up planet with our choices. It doesn't feel good to be around it, but you know it's necessary and you know you're going to be there to get us out of that. You might have extreme exhaustion, extreme urgency, a feeling that you need to go home or you have something to do, even if you don't know what it is. Coming from Arcturus, these are the star seeds. And star seeds can evolve into anything. You can just participate as the fifth root race, as a volunteer. You may have never been here before because now we are going to transition, those of us who are here, going to transition this vibrational frequency. The physical body is going to take a hit on this. You don't have to get sick. In fact, you never have to get sick, but you're going to feel, but you're going to experience some things because we are ones. You're connected to the frequency out there, and some of it could really challenge you. This is when you got to hold your ground no matter what. So how do you know if this is your mission? Based on the combined works of these two, the 5 signs, you've never felt at home on Earth. Dolores subjects constantly said they felt they were dropped on the wrong planet. You look at a human behavior as war, greed, anger, and it doesn't just upset you, it confuses you. It just doesn't make sense. It seems illogical. That's a sign of a volunteer soul. Total disassociation with the human behavior. Sign number 2, you have intense physical symptoms. Cayce's regeneration of the body affects the nervous system. Ringing in the ears, sudden dizziness, changing sleep patterns. This is the biological shift of the root race. So when we raise our frequency, of course it's going to change our bodies and we're going to feel that. Our vibrational frequency and it are one, and they're going to start to work together. Our DNA will change and upgrade, and then you'll start to feel lighter and lighter and expand into that space where you're going to realize those instant manifestations happening right now. You're a system buster. Number 3, you cannot tolerate inauthentic systems, whether it's a corrupt job, a bad relationship, a religious dogma that limits you. You physically cannot stay in it. You're here to break the old structures so the new earth can be born. Those of you who are digital explorers, I'm training people how to create purposeful online businesses. You have a purpose in how you earn and learning skills that will not be obsolete. Like some of the other jobs out there, you're going to feel an urgency to get away from that. You just can't function that way anymore. And it depresses people and they do get sick. Is that you? Is it time to make a change? Sign number 4, people dump on you. Strangers, no, not in that way. Strangers tell you their life stories. People feel better just sitting near you. This is the antenna function of the second wave. You are transmuting energy just by being in the room. People pick up on it. It feels good, so they want to be around it, right? But be careful with that. Sometimes just sitting there listening, if you're not really helping them at all, and they're just using you to be an energy drain, you're going to have to protect yourself, all right? You're still in the physical world. Sign number 5, a pull toward 2026. You're watching this video. You aren't afraid of the future, are you? You don't have to be. You're curious about it. You feel like you've been waiting your whole life for something to happen. That something is the activation of your mission, and it's right now. So if you recognize yourself in these signs, take a deep breath. You aren't crazy. You are on assignment, and you're a starseed with a specific mission in one of these roles. Some of you, like I said, are just here to raise the frequency. Maybe you're going to isolate yourself. Don't beat yourself up just because you're not out in the trenches. We all have our different roles, but all of it has to be on the highest frequency. No expectations of other people, just blessings and love and giving. Create a new world with gardens and what you consume and what you give and what you think, how you take care of your body and our planet. Go down in my description. I've got all kinds of cool stuff for you, and it's changing our planet and supporting those who are walking away from the businesses that destroy the planet and our bodies and animals. We have to support them. And that's what I'm really focused on. And Dolores Cannon left us with this reminder. You are only limited by your own imagination. The mind is the builder, said Cayce. The new earth is not a place we go to. It's a place we create. And 2026 is going to be so mind-blowing for some of you. And others will say, oh, it's just the same corrupt world. And I'm going to ask you, where are you placing your attention? You're entangled with that which you pay attention to in the quantum field. And therefore that probability turns into a particle, which is manifestation. That's how quick it happens, so be careful. If you think you're a starseed, write starseed in the comments, or if you're a volunteer, some of you have very clear thoughts. I just know I'm here to raise the frequency of the planet, one light being at a time. I don't think I have a name or a role, and I think I've been many, many things. All I know is that we have the power to do something so amazing right now, and 2026 is going to be beautiful. And the corruption, the things that are going to come up to the surface, it's not going to be all that shocking. We already know it's there, and now we're going to say it's not okay. And we're not going to live with it, accept it, and we're going to create something new. And we're going to focus on the new instead of criticizing. Let's step away from that negative world. Those of you who are looking for guidance, I have free inspiration videos for you. That's in free inspiration down in the description, digitalexplorers.net. I have free videos for you. How does it work? What do you need to learn? No, it's not complicated. It's actually quite simple and it's exciting. We have people in there so creative. And I'm not going to tell you it's easy. I will tell you that it's going to be a lot easier than whatever you're doing now that doesn't feel right to you. There are products down there that I use and support that are changing the world, that are non-toxic. Let's clean up our environment and stop using plastic. Do not be the source of the problem. Be the change maker. I know that's why you're here. I'm counting on you. I'm going to share some things with you specifically about 2026 that are predictions by some people walking the planet right now that are pretty darn convincing. So stay tuned for that and come on over to the membership. It's a lot of fun. That link is down in the description. Please feel free to share my videos. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.